thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are at episode 226 of the Massenomics podcast. Of course, we are the lifting podcast about nothing. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, this is 226. We've got a guest again. Silent Mike. Hopefully he's not too silent. It wouldn't make a very good interview.
Doesn't make for the best podcast.
And we have been rolling pretty good on the interviews. We finished up with Alan Thrall last week. Who'd we have before that?
He
Tom
said
Finn?
We were easily in the top 5 of all podcast interviews he's done ever.
Out of Northeast South Dakota.
That is not an exaggeration, though. He did give us that credit.
No, he did really enjoy it, and he mentioned that on the podcast, actually, and he said that a couple times afterwards. And I did get good feedback from people on Alan Thrall, that a lot of people really enjoyed that. Some people said that was our best ever, and also from Huck Finn Barbell the week before, I got a few comments, too, that people said that was their favorite one ever. So,
and you said, "Oh, just you wait."
Yeah, right.
It keeps getting better.
Yep. So we're going back to Sacramento. We've been pulling all our talent from
Back
Sacramento.
to Cali.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like
Cali.
what Biggie said.
Just like in the olden days.
Yeah. But first, let's hear from today's sponsors. Today's show of the Massenomics podcast is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, and they're always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20. And I have to give someone a shout out. This is Chris Fenzel on Instagram. He let me know that he was making his way to the dark side and contacted Lifting Large because of our recommendation and got a single ply deadlift suit from Lifting Large.
All right.
Yeah, so he took our ad and actually
It's like when people listen, it's a beautiful thing.
And he had also gotten the safety squat strap previously from Spud Inc.
Very good.
Based on our recommendation.
It's a good listener right there.
Speaking of Spud Inc., the goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our discount code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. And this show is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of the legendary bars, please visit texaspowerbars.com. Those are our sponsors.
Nice.
Here we are at 226.
So I just, it was something I wanted to ask you, Tanner. I don't know if this was an old post or if this was recent. So you had posted something in the story this week about Donnie Thompson commenting.
That was new.
Was it? What was that on? I couldn't find it.
That was on. He also has another page called the storage shed.
Oh, he does.
And that's like his little
his
gym.
Yeah.
So he has another page. It has like 11,000 followers also. I don't know why he has the second page.
I didn't know he had a second page.
Yeah. And I don't know what the reasoning is for that. But I did talk to him, and he's all for being a guest on the show. And I think that's someone we should get on, because it's really fun catching up with these people that we have a little bit of
we've met
a
time or two.
Right.
Yeah.
We've shared some fun stories with Donnie.
So where did
in
you
the
leave
past.
that? Was that on Instagram, or where did you leave that comment?
That was a post on Instagram.
Okay.
That was a post on not his regular one, but his storage shed one.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah. I could not tell. I didn't know where that came from. If it was something really, really old and I just forgot about it. So I'm like, he said stuff like that in the past. I just don't know what it's from.
Right.
Donnie.
So that was Donnie. But so to look forward to, we should have Donnie on pretty soon, I think.
I think
be fun
so.
to see what he's planning on inventing next. What lawsuits he's involved in. Seems to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah. No, and I guess I didn't provide any context there. He was basically hyping up Massenomics and telling us. Telling us that we're awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
He was going in depth in that. How great we are, really.
Donnie's always been a good supporter of ours.
He has been.
Ever since that one. I mean,
Ever
that
since
interview
we
went a
made
long
things
ways
better
with
than
it.
they look in real life.
Right. Did we interview Donnie 2 years or just one? It might have just been one. I don't know if he was back. I don't think he was back because he was at the Spud Inc. booth mentioning Spud Inc. here.
But okay, we interviewed him the 1 year, but then didn't we interview him again the next year? And then like right behind him was Ed Cohen, and then you and Tyler interviewed Ed Cohen right away.
I think you're right. So we must have interviewed Donnie twice.
Like that is like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
so I'm having
right.
trouble remembering.
Right. Because Ed Cohen, we did not interview him the first year. I don't think that we interviewed him.
I think that was the whole thing. It was like, oh, this is really funny. You're interviewing Donnie,
and Ed is in the background.
Ed is in the back, and you literally turn around. That's where you start interviewing.
Well,
Ed.
I think we were just about ready to start talking to Donnie. You know, you were going to roll the camera, and Ed was right there, and it was kind of like, hey, Ed, could we also interview you as soon as we're done here with Donnie too?
Yep,
that was cool.
Good times.
Yeah, it was.
Lots of name dropping there.
It was all of our friends.
Almost sound like we know something.
The longer we go here, the more and more names we get to drop. Especially with this call-in thing on the podcast. Like, we can kind of
have that to fall back on.
Kind of hang out with anyone here when we can call people into the show.
Our little hangout. But maybe the most important reason for this entire episode, Tanner, we got new merch. And
a lot of it. And we really have it now.
Does it look good? Yeah. First of all, we followed up. How do you follow up the 8-bit powerlifting tee?
You can't.
A lot of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know, but we said, oh, you think there's no way, but there is a way. And we have the 8-bit Strongman T.
That's what I'm rocking.
God, yeah. Tanner has it on right now. It looks good. We have this.
So this is the second edition in our strength series.
Yep, in the Massenomics Strength Series 8-bit collection. We have this super jacked dude lifting an Atlas stone in full 8-bit art glory.
Main colors on this one are blue,
orange,
and
some kind of lighter flesh tones, I guess you could say.
Yep.
But God, that is a sharp looking piece of artwork.
It is good.
You pulled up to my house with that thing on, and I was like, wow. I am a fan of how that one turned out. I was a fan of how the first one turned out. It's like, how do you follow that up? And I'm very impressed. It looks good. And there is not a ton of Strongman shirts out there that are for the Strongman sport that also look cool.
That's very true. That's why I'm kind of optimistic about this one. Granted, maybe Strongman maybe there's fewer people that compete in Strongman than there is powerlifting.
I mean, I think
maybe they have more of
an
on-field need.
I think so. I mean, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we are going to find out. Really,
and it's not going to be because the shirt doesn't look cool.
No, it definitely looks really cool. But that would be my question to you. Which 8-bit do you like better? I mean, it's always hard to play that game, but I always like to ask those questions.
Play the game, powerlifting or strongman game here. Maybe just because it's the new.
I know, it's because it's new.
I really do like the strongman one.
The new thing carries some weight,
it
though,
does.
Where you think, I just really like that one. I think just get to see it today.
I honestly don't know if I could pick one, but I will say, as of right now, I will go with strongman just because it's new.
And these are
giving it the tiebreaker.
Really new. I opened these boxes right before I came over here today, so these are brand spanking new.
So that's one. Strongman T's looking great.
Yeah.
This one here now, this one you could say is for you guys.
Yes.
Who's you
if
guys?
You're listening.
You guys is the listeners. Yeah. And this.
So it's not necessarily for our. It's not as big of a deal for our full Instagram.
If you just follow us on Instagram, or if you're just hopping on the Massenomics shop, this shirt might not appeal to you. But why is that? What does the shirt say? This shirt says how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
Yep.
Now, if those aren't words to live by, I don't know what is.
Those are words to live by.
And God, this thing's got some style to it too. It's a good looking shirt.
Yeah, it's we haven't had a shirt like that, I guess. You know, it's like shirts exist in kind of like a lot of text on the shirt like that. I don't know what you call that.
Just a shirt, but we've
never really had one like that.
Yeah, we haven't really released any shirts that just have big bold text on them, which is a staple of most brands.
Yes, right, it is for sure.
But in our case, it hasn't been. But this one is for the listeners. That is for sure.
Well, what I said about that one, not only is it great because of just the saying that it is, but it also still looks like it also
does.
carries itself. Even if you weren't completely aware of the thing, you might say, "Oh yeah, how
That's
to
a
get
cool
strong,
shirt,
how
yeah.
to stay strong, how to use your strength." That looks cool.
It makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, this one is I'm a big fan of this, and it is a little bit of a different look for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else do you
that's
got over
two.
there? Yeah.
But wait, there's more? Is that what you're telling me, Tanner?
What?
Number 3 on the list of all new. Oh, and by the way, on the back of mine and this next shirt I'm about to show you, we also do have the Massenomics nameplate up across the upper back on there. So we do have the 2 locations for you. Now this next one, the old lift grunge. So we've had lift shirts, lift shorts in different varieties.
Yeah.
But this is an all new lift shirt.
Yep.
And it leaves no doubt about what you do in your free time.
Right.
We have in a pretty distressed handwritten font, we have lift big and red on the chest.
Yep.
It's it's impactful.
I liked that. I really like this
Yeah.
one.
These
It's
are all-
like the simplest of them all.
Yeah, it's
but,
one of the more simple ones we've released,
yeah.
but it just makes a statement. It's
It
cool.
does.
And these are all in black tees, by the way. And then the final one.
Yep.
The final one, I don't have it. We don't have it here with us.
But
at
you know
this
what it
moment.
looks like.
But you know what it looks like. We have decided to do a late summer release of the 8-bit, not strongman, 8-bit powerlifting
yeah.
in a tank.
We didn't want the power lifters to be, feel completely
Yeah.
left out with the strongman.
And not a lot of people have put out tanks, and there is a demand for tanks. We
Yeah.
can tell you
They
firsthand.
go great.
So for anyone wanting the tank, we have the 8-bit powerlifter tank is available. That one is in limited quantities. So that
one is the most limited, and that one won't come back necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky next summer, but
Right.
that's hard to say.
Yeah, it might not come
Yeah,
back
it
next
might not
summer.
come
If you
back,
want
so-
that one out of these in particular, I mean, this one's probably going to be the Strongman 8-bit one is probably going to be pretty popular, and we'll probably continue to do that. The 8-bit tank top is we kind of know that's going to be a one hitter. One hitter. That tank top is on the same tank top as all the
of
other
our
tank
others.
tops that we've printed, which people really seem to like that tank top. And then these shirts are on the same as the 8-bit powerlifting shirt. And the white lift shirt, we also use this one.
Which is a similar tee to what a
Yeah.
lot of brands are using. It's
Yes.
a slightly slimmer fit
Yeah.
than maybe your average tee, but
We're kind of switching to that for our
it
black
has a more
tees.
it has a
going
more premium feel to it,
forward.
I think.
Right. And of course, on all of them, we include the custom printed tag. We kind of take that for
Absolutely.
granted at this point that we just do that. But I do think that's cool because we've gotten some from other companies that don't do it, and it when we're so used to the custom printed tag,
Feels
when
like
it
there's a
doesn't,
level of premium that was left off.
when it doesn't have it, you're kind of like, it is cool, but nobody. It's a weird thing. Nobody sees it necessarily,
No,
but
it
it's
just feels like a more
Yeah.
upscale product.
yeah,
And
for sure.
On top of all of that, it gets wrapped up with a little bundle of love by Tanner.
That's
A
right.
handwritten note personally thanking you for your order. So
Handwritten note with every order, and usually, not usually, some form of stickers go out with basically every single order too. So
it's almost like you can't afford to not order
that's
clothes
true
from us.
And we've also been shipping some stuff out to podcast supporting members, secret stuff that only the supporting members get to know about.
Yep.
So I
And that's
think
for them to know and you to find
Yeah.
out. So if you would like to find out,
I've got another shipment of that stuff getting ready this week. So most of the supporting members will have gotten something by this point in time. But the only way for you to find out what that is to
hop aboard that train.
Hop aboard. That's it.
And it's like a party train. You
It
don't
is.
want to miss that
No,
train. You want to
it
be
is
on that
fun.
train.
It is a really fun train, and Swimhack still is on top of the train.
He is on top. But there are a lot of good people on that
baseballs.
train, though. It is a good train. I encourage you to get on it.
No, it is a fun train. There,
Yeah.
if you could get that whole group together, that would be a lot of fun.
It would be
I would
an
like to
amazing
do
time, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. Really,
That would
like I
be.
hadn't thought about that until just now, but that would be great.
Yeah, it's just like people that just get it. you
Yeah,
know?
funny thing, kind of related to all that today. This doesn't happen very often, and I'm not encouraging for this to happen. But somehow a potential customer got my cell phone number. I mean, it is out there in tied to some things like customer service wise. You can find it.
Okay.
So they called. They hadn't bought something from us before, but they wanted to know if there's a military discount, which we don't have. And what I do tell everyone when they say that is, we don't offer a military discount, but I am a veteran, so at least you can know that your money is going from one veteran to another. And if that doesn't
And that's
hold
not a
value
lie.
to
That
you-
is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
That is
Long-time
true.
listeners of the show know this,
Yeah,
that Tanner is an
right.
actual veteran who has gone overseas.
Right. So you can you can at least say, well, I guess that's good. Like it's going to.
It's not going just to Tommy, who's just a regular civilian, no good, nothing. Right. It's at least kind of going to a veteran too.
And really, that's better than any discount you could get, right?
I mean, yeah.
It's better for us.
It's better than giving your money to the people at Walmart or Amazon or Jeff Bezos, you know?
Amazon, there you go. I kind of forget about what I was saying originally, but I do want to just say that
the customer service line with
Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Apple are all appearing in front of court this week, which is
what I heard that I didn't actually know that was going on. I've had some things going on in my life where I've been very out of the loop lately, but just while I was in my car today, I did hear that. That was the first time I heard it, and they said just the one clip of Mark Zuckerberg like, oh, we don't like fake news on our platform and fake and misinformation and things like that. And I'm like, you're such a liar. All that does is get people fired up and outraged and want to spend more time.
Right.
And you totally run your platform to make people spend more time on it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, that is such a lie.
And it's funny to me that I get that those four are lumped together in the tech sector. And I think there's acronyms if maybe you include even like one other one and there's some weird, I can't remember what the acronym is, but if I pick Facebook out, Facebook is different than those other three. Like those other three all have things that they're doing where you're like, you are kind of creating a monopoly, but Facebook as a social media thing, like, and maybe Google moves into that same thing where they're doing these things with like, it's selecting what people get to see.
See, this is what's so tricky about. I mean, Facebook literally makes their money off of data. Right. That is how Facebook makes their money. Yeah. Harvesting and reselling your data, whether that's through advertising or whatever thing we don't know that they're doing right now behind the scenes. That is how Facebook makes their money. It's essentially how Google makes 95% of their money. And
that's why
Google has a few products, but Google is still at the end of the day in the business of selling and placing ads, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's through Google AdWords, whether that's through any of their other millions of services, Gmail, whatever they have going on. That is still how Google's revenue is generated, is through selling ads.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot different than Facebook. Amazon, they're kind of in a weird spot because they're just a massive reseller.
Right.
I mean, but they're at the point where they can just undercut everyone and it kind of doesn't matter. So like they've gotten what did I see? Did I see Jeff Bezos's net worth went up 13 billion like last month?
That's crazy.
That is insane. Yeah. That is insane. That is insane. Okay. However you feel about that, that is still an unfathomable number to go up in 1 month or whatever it was. And then Apple is in a little different spot than all of them, being that they're the only one that actually makes their own product.
Exactly.
And that is their primary business. Now they are watching the other companies and being like, oh yeah, services, we can make a lot of money doing services, but they are in a slightly different position, but they're also,
they get everyone having their product, and then that's where they have the same advantage that all of these have. That they're like, oh no, you just have our thing.
Yep.
But it was also like, well, that's because these companies all made the thing that we all want.
I know.
Like, it's like
who else is a competitor? Oh yeah, just go out and build a semiconductor company and then spend 10 billion building. Like, it's like, no, I think that ship has sailed. Like I don't know if that's going to happen, but a little bit of a tangent there. Yeah, so I don't even know.
Okay. So the call, and it came from he was really nice guy, really good guy actually. And I said, oh, I see you had an Omaha, Nebraska number. Is that where you're from? And he's like, yeah. And it was just funny. We got talking. And I'm like, oh, do you know Omaha Barbell Gym at all? And he's like, oh yeah, I've lifted there quite a bit. And it was like, we went over people and I'm like,
yeah, we
know some same people. And it's just funny. Like in some of the people that I know from in person that I've done powerlifting meets and stuff with before, and we know about those. But then there was some people that I just strictly know because they're loyal followers of Massenomics on Instagram. Okay. And he's like,
oh, but they're at Omaha? Or
yeah. Well, yeah. And like he's name dropped a couple people and I'm like, yeah, I know I know that name very well. Like I see
them buying stuff.
Because he's like, because he kind of found us through some of his friends.
Okay, gotcha.
And like I recognized the names completely and knew their Instagram handle and could pick them out. And
that is one thing that I am excited for the Arnold this next year. It will click way more with you than me.
Yeah,
but,
right.
There's a lot of people that I will see their face and it will mean nothing. And if they say their name or their Instagram handle, it'll be like, you.
Yes.
You will definitely know way more of those than me, but there's still a lot of people that'll be like, okay, that's the guy that I see ordering stuff all the time or commenting all the time or just being part of this Massenomics wave.
Yep. what do we got? I got time to tell one other.
We got time.
I got
for
all kinds of
stories.
little things.
We
that
got
I'm
time
thinking
for
of.
stories.
That, all these things that I normally like. I'm like, gotta talk about that on the podcast, and then never remember it. And now I just forgot the next thing. There's so many. I can't even write it all down. It's
we were talking about a guy saying something.
oh, I know what it was. That's all I needed. It was like a guy. Yes, this story I have involves a guy.
Okay, there's a story I can't remember. Was there a guy involved?
Oh yeah, there was a guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who we were talking to on the podcast. One of our guests recently, and you made the joke about. I think this was on the air about it using up all my long distance minutes.
Oh yeah. We were in the midst of calling someone. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that. I said it's like, dude, you're calling collector. I'm like, no, it's dude, you got it down.
Yeah,
I was getting
yeah.
My taglines mixed around.
So I got my cell phone bill this month, and it wasn't out. First of all, it wasn't outrageously higher, but I know, like, I watch my bills pretty closely, so I know the number that it was supposed to be, and it was different. It was like $23 higher than it normally was, and I'm like,
that's kind of weird.
well, I'm like, kind of weird, but I'm also so used to these, like my internet bill, or not so much my cell phone, but I'm just like pessimistic in the way that I'm like, okay, what are you raising it? What are you screwing me over on this time?
Fee just randomly got implemented this month.
So I wanted to dig into it, and first of all, I'm a Verizon customer, and digging on the website, it took me a while to get to where I want to actually be to figure out what the hell is going on here. Like, they are purposely making that, like, running me in circles.
Just because my brain is so, I believe dark patterns is what they refer to it as.
Okay.
Is like when they, basically they make the button that they want you to click big and shiny and bold, and then the button that you actually want to click is hiding in like 10-point font in the corner.
It's similar to what they do with me wanting a phone number for customer service.
Yep.
There's companies, this one included, Verizon included, that will spin you in every direction possible to avoid getting you to call a phone number. They like, some companies you cannot, like, it is not even possible to get a phone number. Like, you
there's a lot. I just assume with my business, if I ever have a problem with 98% of the programs that I need, just don't ever assume there's an official line. I mean, you're just going to the internet and just seeing what people are saying. Like,
for sure.
Do not count on getting a hold of someone.
And even the ones that do have a line, they make it really hard for you. It's not just like, oh, about us.
Yep.
Number.
Please call.
Yeah, right. But so it honestly took me probably 10 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time. But when that's the one thing I'm logging in to figure out, took me a while to get to where I want to be. Finally got to like the master, like the call log, which I have not looked at that on my phone bill, and I don't get a paper bill, and I don't look at that. So I haven't looked at that like in 5 years. And I'm like, not very many calls that I make anymore.
Oh God. Yeah, I know.
But then like the long calls would be like every Wednesday, there'd be like 35 minutes, 40 minutes because we use my phone to make the calls.
Yep.
And I figured out you weren't completely joking when you said that. And I was like, how do I not, does long distance even matter on a cell phone?
I was going to say, what plan are you on that?
Well, so it was because of our friends in Miami, Hayden Bowe, resident of Canada.
Number?
Yeah, his number was a Canadian phone number.
So that call cost you like $23.
$23.03 or something like that. And I was like, because mostly I just was like, wanted to know why this happened. I was just like, what is going on here?
I think everything's free.
Right.
Basically.
That's what I'm like, why am I paying for?
You pay, but after that, unless you're using insane amounts of data, you just get what you get.
Right. And that's what it was, because it was a Canadian phone number. So
those damn people at Hybrid.
I know. But then I was like, geez, so you're doing that to everyone that ever calls you, but I suppose nobody really calls him. Just like how maybe for work you actually do use your phone more often, but a lot of people don't. Like me looking at my call history, I'm like, man, I do not talk on the phone with anyone for very long. It's always like 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, with the exception of my business, using my cell phone for my business. My wife and I live together, Tanner, so we don't have to call each other.
Right.
So yeah, it is. It's when you actually do look at the minutes, it's like, whoa, the talking part of your phone is almost non-existent.
Right. The thing that it was originally made for. So just another.
So now we know.
Yeah.
Calling Hybrid. Get that.
Yes.
Make sure your checkbook is ready to go.
Think twice about these Canadian guests here.
They're Canadian guests in Miami.
Right. I guess we'd have to do them on a FaceTime audio, and then it wouldn't do that, I suppose.
Get around it. They'd still. I'm sure Verizon would still find a way to
they
get
stick
you, though.
it to you.
Wow, Tanner. So we have hardly gone through anything on our list here.
We could hit those things though.
We can,
right?
yes, we can, and we should, and we will. First one on the list: Dan Bell did his first ever multiply meet this weekend.
Yep.
And boy, did he do it.
Yeah, do you have the numbers there?
Totaled 5,000 pounds. It's pretty crazy.
Not bad, Dan.
First man to squat 2,000 and bench 2,000 in a single meet.
I'm not surprised. I all along kind of figured he had that in him, though, didn't you?
We knew someone was going to break that barrier.
Yeah.
Okay, but actual numbers. All right. Let's do something.
Interesting that he did a multiply meet, first of all.
That's
cool.
Well,
I would say multiply in quotations.
Right, because he was just in briefs for a squat, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, so he had wraps like he always does, but then he had briefs on with a multiply squat of 10:14 and then 11:02.
Yep. And the 11:02 looked really easy.
It did look really easy. And for multiply, very deep.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose he wasn't literally in multiply because if you're just wearing briefs and not the suit, then you're not actually wearing multiple plies, but...
Still, he held it to a high standard.
Well, it sure makes you think if he could figure out wearing all the stuff, like how much can he squat?
I know. Benched 683, which that's
in a single ply shirt.
Sorry, yes, in a single ply katana shirt.
Yeah,
and then pulled 881 raw. So it was like really he threw briefs on and had a bench shirt. Like that was his multiply debut.
Right. But
still put up a 2667 total. Very respectable.
Yeah. Very
respectable.
Yep.
As someone that has never competed multiply, I can say that, Tanner.
Yeah. He gets my respect.
But no, super impressive. And you don't see hardly anyone making the jump like he's doing.
No, I'd be curious. It begs the question to me, what if with just a little more serious training, like what if he could get used to squatting in the stuff
could
and
he
could
put
squat
400 on that? Could 400 pounds on that total? Could
he do the biggest ever? Could he do 1,300 or whatever? And then the big one to me is his bench. If he could get used to the big multiply bench, could he add like 300 pounds to
300?
That? And what I'm getting at is could he break
have the biggest total of all time?
Right. Which to me, as not a multiply guy more interested in raw, just generally speaking, be pretty interesting to see the big raw guy like go and take down the multiply guys, like that's
it'd be cool to see. And he has the potential to do it without a doubt.
Right.
There's very few people that you can say have the potential to set the
and he could have both.
A all-time world record. Yeah.
Right.
And he is absolutely someone that does have the potential to do it.
Right.
Not going to be easy to do.
No, it would take probably that's where
he would probably have to
finer
dedicate
points.
It's not unrealistic to think he'd probably have to dedicate a
right.
few years to the multiply thing to really get all that he can out of it. But he still could. He would have the potential to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So will he, Tanner?
I don't know what his motivation.
I don't know if
I don't doubt that he could. It's
I don't doubt that
if he wants to.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if he wants to dedicate that many years to multiply training, because I still think Dan could be setting lots of all-time world records.
Right.
But
also if he goes later this year or when 2021 or whatever, and he does total like 2,600 raw, and like nobody else is catching up to him at all by then, like what? You think at a certain point it's hard to like get the motivation, like I'm already whipping everyone else's ass.
Go full on Julius Maddox style and be like, I'm in a total league of my own. Like there's no one even in the conversation. I guess that's the two ways to go with it.
Yep.
Or you could just say I've done what I need to do.
Right. Yeah.
So there's three. We'll give him three options there.
That's it.
That is it. No way around that. And then speaking of multiply, just a really quick thing that you brought to my attention, Tanner. There was is this actually the all-time world record for squats for multiply right now?
I think is the heaviest squat in the open powerlifting database is what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to put something. So it's a 1,278 pound multiply squat. This was it in January?
Yeah, I think that was actually back in January, but the video is just surfacing on like the Powerlifting Legends account is where I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it on there. I thought I had ran across this a while ago, and to me it seemed like one of those things that would maybe get discussed more. I think we kind of missed it the first time.
Yeah.
But, the squat's really high. And now It's not, to me, it's not this guy's fault. The squat is, if it is actually the heaviest squat in the open powerlifting database, it's not this guy's fault that it's that, because he's not the one that calls depth.
Right.
But God, the judges are really loose on this one.
A lot of fun, interesting comments in that one in the comment section.
I mean, it's like, the only thing I can compare it to is like, it's no different than if like in the NFL, just in the Super Bowl, like, all right, they got to the 10-yard line, touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not the rules.
Yeah.
It's not how we see it.
Right,
it's like,
right.
Like just like things kind of lose their integrity when that happens, right?
And to me, the really thing that pushes over the edge in that comment section, Ed Cohen called it out and goes basically like, "This is not a squat," and I feel like it's the kiss of death.
That seems like
where it's like, well, who gets back and argues with him then? You know, like who has the clout to be like, listen here, Ed Cohen.
No, here's the classic argument. Until you can do it. It's like, okay. All right. Yeah. Because you have to have, because having a set of eyeballs isn't enough. You have to be able to lift that squat to be able to, to judge it. All good things. Wow, Tanner, we flew through that first half hour there.
Yeah.
In fact, we flew through it so fast. It's time for some freaking ads.
Right. Great. Good.
All right. Just relax over there, Tanner.
Right.
I got the next couple minutes here.
I'm going to take 5, as they say.
Hit the showers. Today's show is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started lifting at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. Still one of my go-to bars in the gym, Tanner.
Yep.
I still pick that bar over almost all the other bars most times.
Me too. And we have a lot
to pick from, but
you're not just saying that, and neither am I. And we have a lot of expensive bars in there, and I almost always just gravitate towards it.
They got something right with it.
There is something.
It's just so many things. It's hard to say them all, but they absolutely got it right. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, in all caps, that's MASS, for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large sets the new standard for customer service within the strength world. Get email responses in hours, not days. They now have live website chat support available during the weekdays, so you can get advice from a real powerlifter with actual platform experience. The Lifting Large team wants to help you achieve new PRs in the gym and on the competition stage. When you're ready to try single ply and make your way to the dark side, give them a call, just like our good buddy
Chris, maybe.
There you go. Our good buddy Chris. Chris, maybe. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, and it's always in stock and always ready to ship. Tanner, you were really on the ball with that one.
Yeah. That was just like,
I shouldn't
have, bam. We had that down perfect.
You took too hard of a 5 there, Tanner. You need to take like a 2 instead.
Oh, are we still doing this?
Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 to save 20% on all Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's at liftinglarge, DOTCOM. And last but certainly not least, The Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Spud Inc. Track Harness. The Spud Inc. Track Harness is perfect for speed, strength, and agility training. Built from soft, comfortable webbing that won't restrict blood flow while training, the Track Harness has a snug fit that allows for fast directional changes without any slipping that could throw an athlete off balance, because you don't want to be losing your balance, Tanner.
That's right.
From the largest gyms to the smallest weight rooms, the Track Harness unlocks dozens of necessary exercises for strength athletes of all kinds. Pull sleds, run against a parachute, or even attached to a band for plyometric work. Check out the Spud Inc. Track Harness online at spud-inc-straps.com. Are we doing this?
Let's do it.
You have a collect call from... Oh, one more time. Would you like a collect call from
Massenomics?
Yeah. Yeah, I would like that collect call. We are calling someone right now, though.
Yes, we are. We really are.
Obvious by the ringtone.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't have a Canadian number.
Hello.
Hello, is this Mike?
This is him.
Mike, you are live on the Massenomics podcast. We're excited to have you on today.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're excited you're here. So right away, Mike, we hate to hit you with the hard questions and bring up sensitive stuff, but it's the thing people all want to know. Fanny packs, are they in or out?
That's really a really good question. And as a man with a mullet of 3 years,
You are highly qualified.
I've worn a fanny pack since like 2013. Follow me now. We're in 2020. They've already came and gone again. So as of this moment, they're already gone. If you want to do a crossbody satchel out of function, you might be able to pull it. But if you're going purely out of aesthetics, they're already gone. You missed the wave.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's all we needed. So thank you for
That's
your
all
time.
really I'm good for. Yeah, you guys open with the only thing that really matters. I agree.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I'm glad, we're both really glad you were comfortable talking about that. We didn't specifically talk beforehand of what was on and off, out of bounds to discuss here today. So we're both excited that you were able to answer that openly.
Yeah, I can really talk about anything. There's no real bounds, and the truth is no one really asks about it. People just, monkey see, monkey do. And the other fact of the matter is I'm not very black and white with how I communicate, especially online, because, a lot of context matters and a lot of the situation matters. But one thing is fanny packs are out. I will give you a black and white answer. Don't do it. Don't do it anymore. You're lost. You lost. Yeah.
Good to know.
We do have a couple other questions we'll ask you about, and I guess I would say
right.
we've never gotten the chance to talk to you before in person or really much online or otherwise. We have communicated quite a bit with your PIC partner in crime, Jim McD, over the years, and he's been really helpful. We started this podcast like 4.5 years ago, and he's been helpful with us on audio and all kinds of different questions over the years. So I'm sure in a roundabout way you've also contributed to that too. So we appreciate what you guys got going on over there.
I'm pretty useless, but he's a stud. Yeah, he's spoken about you guys a bunch. I was actually just on the phone with Daniel Storniolo, Stormcloud, Fat Dan.
Yeah.
And he said he spoke with you guys a couple of years ago too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody speaks very well of you guys, and they're all really good people. Dan and Jim are great guys.
Yeah, well, that's good. We're putting on a good front that people speak well of us and they don't know the real us.
Dude. It's just appearance. It doesn't really matter what the truth is. Just what the internet sees.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So what you do got going on? We'll summarize it quick, and you tell us what we're missing here.
Sure.
You do the coaching and programming through lifting, and that's mostly through is it Kaizen? Do I pronounce that correctly, or Kaizen?
Kaizen, yep.
Yeah, Kaizen. Yep. Mostly through that arm of your businesses, and then your podcasting with Jim McD on 50% Facts. You've have that rolling for a while now. You do streaming through Twitch. Working on opening up a new gym, which is something we want to talk to you about here. Of course, you're out of Sacramento. A bit of a fashionista of sorts, I believe.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so.
That would be our biggest bullet points. How did we do there? What are we missing?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I create content on the internet. For some reason, people follow me. I I know a little bit about strength and conditioning. It's something I've done for a decade. And that's about it. I got a mullet.
And again, the mullet.
Yeah, I got a mullet.
Can't forget that.
We'll touch more on that later. That's actually like, don't want to give anything away, but we will speak more on the mullet later. So don't dive too much into that yet, or else it's going to completely ruin what we've got.
Our outline is ruined. It's out the window. Then we're lost.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up the script you guys sent me.
Yeah, right. So one of the big things we did want to talk about though was the gym you guys are working on opening, 3rd Street Barbell, I think is the name, and people would maybe look at that from the outside that don't know as much and wonder, geez, are these guys crazy starting a gym in the middle of this pandemic or whatever you want to call everything that's going on here? My assumption, without knowing too much about it, would be that this was probably planned prior to that. It's not something that you jump into that quickly, but just wondering what you would say to that.
I would say I am crazy. I would say it has been off and on planned for 2 years to make it sound like I'm not crazy. We did have it planned. We researched many things from many angles. And then to go back to that, I am crazy. If you want to know, the official papers on the lease were signed during the pandemic, if that gives you any. So I think I'm the biggest genius and the biggest insane man kind of wrapped into one thing. Yeah, we definitely planned it for a very long time. Jim and I have talked about opening a space. This space in particular has a lot of history to us. It's where our original podcast started. It's where I started creating content. A lot of lifting history, especially in raw powerlifting. I know that's kind of, a little bit of the realm you guys sit in.
Yep.
The Dan Greens, the Stan Efferdings, the Brandon Lillies, even the early Chad Wesley Smiths, they all smashed some of the Lillibridges. All these guys smashed their biggest weights at this physical location, which back in the day was called Midtown Strength. That went out of business late in 2019. And so opportunity arises and you either, let it walk over you and skip by or you take some chances. So a lot of people tell me I'm an idiot. I wouldn't go that far. I would say I'm a little insane, but everything you do has a little bit of a chance. I think there's safe ways to make gyms of our style very conducive to being healthy around COVID, spacing and cleaning. It's much easier to take care of than something like a large commercial gym that has thousands of people coming in and out of it. And I think people still need to focus on their physical health with the parameters recommended by health professionals. So we're a little crazy, but I think we can do it our own way, a really cool way. And I also think we can keep everybody safe in the process.
Right on. Do you think, people would maybe say it's crazy, but do you think specifically because of this timing, do you think there's like special opportunity there by you doing it the right way that maybe you can capitalize it on even more than had we not been in this pandemic situation?
1,000,000%. And some of it of what I just said, that people, I think, strength sports in general, the barbell itself has grown in popularity over the last 10 years. Exponentially, how many people squat and deadlift now, whether they're powerlifters or not, compared to what they did in 2010. So more people, all the big commercial gyms, the one out here on the West Coast is 24-hour fitness. I've gone to one on and off for 20 years. And now they all have like more squat racks. They all have bumper plates. Like they're moving towards what we already do well, except their negative is they're a money machine and they have literally thousands of members coming in and out a day where you can't track, where they've been, who they've touched, what kind of sicknesses they have. But if we have a small community where we know everyone's face and everyone's family, let alone I'm literally there with my team and we're cleaning it all day long, I think we can make it safer. And I think people are going to go towards those style of gyms and then everybody being locked in their house. I think everyone's looking for communities. There's not a lot of communities going around in our world to begin with, let alone now we've all been locked at home and are really needing some social support. I think nothing's better than struggling in some hot summer California days in some heat together. So I think in many, many ways it'll benefit the community. And that's one of our number one goals for sure.
Awesome. So how far are you in the process right now? I mean, do you have equipment and everything? Are you open to members or is that going to be soon?
So that'll be still a ways down. And I know obviously internet lies and I probably lied in the video, and who knows how many weeks I said we're out or something. So we're trying to document it without, giving false hope. So California in general, we went back a phase. So gyms are closed in California. So even if we were set to go, we couldn't go up by our rules. We have equipment on order, but it's not at the physical location. So we're definitely still a few weeks out. We're looking at maybe September-ish, because there's ripple effects. Obviously, the COVID isn't just the health of our members, which we're taking very seriously and we'll take precautions for, but companies were backlogged, especially people buying gym equipment. So even getting all that, and we're trying to get nice stuff, we're trying to get matching stuff, so we're trying to do things the right way. So it might take a little bit longer, but I think it'll be worth the wait.
So you were touching on this part. A big part of a gym is the equipment and what goes in it. We have a gym here in our. We have a Massenomics gym.
Yeah, a little club community gym.
We have a fair amount of equipment, and we know some of the ins and outs of buying things. Was there any major surprises to you when you were buying stuff? Whether like, whoa, that's insanely expensive, or like that's a lot more affordable than I thought?
Not really. I opened a gym, and I don't talk about it a ton, but I opened a gym in 2009 or 2010, a personal training studio. And I've been in the industry just so long, so I kind of knew what's going on. I guess, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't like to start drama. The lack of customer service in some companies maybe surprised me.
Yeah, right.
And that's just so new on the tip of my tongue. That's why I'm even mentioning it. The last 2 weeks. And some are in industry, in the fitness world, and some are just even like material, more construction people I've dealt with online or locally. The lack of customer service, and I know I'm sounding like I'm 60 years old. I'm only 32. But holy crap, man. People just have poor manners. They have poor everything. I literally, right before you guys called, I'm on an email, and I'm reading this guy's email. I'm like, damn, dude, you are really rude. Like, if you said that to me in person, I would be highly offended.
But that's the thing. People don't say that in person most of the time. They hide behind the shroud of, an email, and it's easier to say that.
I know, and I understand that on Instagram and YouTube, and you have your little anime picture, and you're calling me fat. That's fine.
It's expected.
This has your full name. Yeah, this has your full name and your business, and I think this guy owns the business, and he's emailing him like, geez, Louise, buddy. You typed me, let me count, 20 letters. You could have just rearranged those letters in a nicer manner, and we could be friends, but instead you want to be a jerk. Yeah, I think that's the only surprise. Pricing, it kind of was in the ballpark. I think to most people, though, you guys are probably right. If no one's ever messed with that and they try to go buy some machines or heavy-duty commercial-style equipment, they're going to be like, man, this stuff's expensive. But it's got to take a beating. You're better off paying for quality, and commercial-grade exercise equipment is heavy-duty metal, and just the cost of metal sometimes will get you.
Mm-hmm. It is funny that you bring up the customer service thing, because just earlier in this podcast, but before you were on, when we were going through some of our things on our list, customer service was one of the things that Tanner was ranting about here.
Dude.
Yeah, and we sell apparel and quite a bit of shirts and about lifting and humor and that sort of thing. And we handle our customer service internally whenever there's a problem, whenever there's a shipping issue or a quality issue. Sometimes it's just the nature of it. If we ship out 500 t-shirts, a few of them are going to have a bad stitching or a hole in them, that sort of thing. Right. It's just the way it goes. And most people, when they have a problem, they're super nice. And a lot of them are, real supporters of our company, and they're really cool about it. And those are so easy. Like, those interactions are so easy, but some people are dicks. But looking at it from us as a customer service end, I have to read those emails, and I'll just read it and be like, okay, that annoys me. I'm just going to wait a second here, and then I'm just going to send something back very nice, because I would like to convince this person to still be a supporter of ours, and let's figure out whatever we can do to please them, even though I think that they're probably not being logical about the situation. But that's how the lens I look at it through is I'm just I'm going to be so nice that this person has no choice but to feel bad that they were even kind of a dick in the first place, But then,
for sure.
But then we work with companies on the flip side that we experience that same thing, where I'm like, why aren't you guys thinking that?
I don't know why. I think everyone in the world should play a team sport growing up. I think it can teach you so much about yourself, and then I think about life communication. And I think everyone, maybe in their late teens, early adulthood, need to work a customer service job and be taught how to do it. It's so important, and I would much rather get the worst, say I'm buying a barbell or whatever. I would much rather have the world's shittiest barbell. I do one deadlift and it falls apart and explodes in my hand, but I email them an issue and they're super nice to me. You know what I mean? Then have the best equipment in the world and you be a dick.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yes.
no, our stuff doesn't break. Like, you don't have a problem.
Yeah, like it just blows my mind, and it's so simple. Like it's literally just, and I know there's all these stupid memes going around on the internet. Like it costs you nothing to be nice. It costs you nothing to smile. Well, like that's stupid too.
Yeah,
but it really
right.
does cost you nothing.
Yeah.
You're writing me an email. You're responding. Just be nice. Just chill.
For sure. I wanted to back up on something. You mentioned Lilla Bridges, Dan Green, all those guys lifting at this location. Is that the backyard meet of the century? Is that the location those were at?
Yeah, all
okay.
Those. Yeah, all those are at this very location.
I think we and most people
those are like
will recognize
all-time
those videos.
classics.
Yeah.
Like those are like the
Pete Rubish. I think the first time Ed Cohen's probably on a big YouTube channel, like all that stuff. Max Aida's doing squat demos out of this gym. You kind of name it, and it happened within these four walls. Let alone the podcast of my own personal history. I coached there. I coached a strength class there for like 6-7 years. It just has a lot of history, I think, within the sport, and then clearly to me and Jim, who gave a lot of ourselves to it. So a little bit coming full circle, even though in videos coming up you might not even recognize it. We've done an insane amount of work to it, but the general vibe's still there, and the location's really, really good.
Yeah, I looked like what you've done with grinding down the floor and staining it and that stuff, where it might not seem like that big of a deal. Like you can even see through the videos how cool that's going to look, like how nice that's going to look.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's a little unique look. I think every gym out there, I'm part hipster. I'm part like hipster and part like hater. So some things, sometimes you said fashionista. I like to think I have good taste and stuff, but sometimes I just do things to be different. As soon as you guys tell me you like the color blue, I don't like the color blue anymore. That is true. But sometimes, it turns out okay. And this was one of the things that the team kind of agreed upon. Like putting black mats everywhere just looks identical to everything. They're hard to clean. Mm-hmm. Like you can't really clean them that well. And they just look blah to me. And then if you get really one expensive thing for those out there that are trying to start a gym or don't, is if you get real gym flooring, not just stall mats, it's stupid expensive. Yeah. And to me, it doesn't look that cool. So how can we be highly functional at the level or beyond of a strength training gym, but how do we make it look, like something would in 2020? Every powerlifting gym to me looks the exact same.
Yeah. I think that's fair. So I had a couple other things I wanted to ask about. One of them being the Sacramento thing. Yeah. So Sacramento, of course, our last guest last episode was Alan Thrall. We've had
Never heard of him.
Yep. No. We've had Jim McD on before, of course, talk with him. Alan's got Untamed Strength there. You guys opening this. Yeah. And then, Mark Bell's obviously from the area and everything else that's going on there. And like you talked about the raw powerlifting revolution there. Like Sacramento is just, I've never been there. Tommy, have you been there before?
I have not been there.
As far as lifting and maybe even especially like the strength sports goes, like Sacramento seems to be like historically here over the last 5-10 years, it's been a really cool place for that. What's up with that? Like, is that what you feel like being there too? That there's like that much happening there as far as lifting goes?
I have no idea. So we'll touch on each one. And then there's more that you guys, it might be a little outside your world, but in the bodybuilding world, I don't know if you know Matt Ogus, who's a pioneer. Yep, So Matt Ogus and Alan Thrall went to the same high school.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep. Alan's my exact age. We grew up, I would probably say within 5 miles of each other. Out in the suburbs of Sacramento, never knew each other until like 5-6 years ago through YouTube. Matt Ogus, I think, is a little bit younger, but he's here. I don't know if you know the natural bodybuilding coaches, 3DMJ. Oh, yeah. Eric Helms. Yeah. They're based out of Sacramento. Alberto Nunez lived here a very long time. He's from San Francisco, which is really close by, and Eric grew up here. And so the list goes on and on. I don't know if I've ever felt it. We're a little spread out. So Alan is still kind of in the suburbs. He's about 15 miles away, about a half an hour from where our gym is and kind of where I live. Sacramento is really not big, so it is kind of insane that happened. Another really old school guy that I got to throw an ode to is named Chip Conrad. He's maybe not as popular in the internet age, but he's kind of a pioneer when it comes to just general strength, some strongman, just being a strength enthusiast. kettlebells, tires, stuff like that. He's from Sacramento, and has a lot of roots here. And I believe that's where Jim McD met Stan Efferding, was at a Chip Conrad powerlifting meet. Beside the point, there's an insane amount of fitness, but I wouldn't say it feels that way. At this point, Alan's just a good friend of mine, and we train together here and there. My buddy Ben Claret has another really great coach here who has a little bit of, if we're talking internet-y things, but fitnessy things. We have Team Alpha Male from UFC who has a gym, and they're obviously a very good UFC team. One of my buddies, Amadeo, trains a lot of those guys. My friend Ben has a lot of weightlifters. So there's a ton of fitness going on, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way. It's not like you're walking down the street and everyone's jacked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not the Arnold Sports Festival. Yeah.
Yeah, it still feels very niche, and like no one knows any of us. No one knows what untamed strength is in Sacramento. Like my mom doesn't. She's been here for 30 years. So it's not like, but that's part of my goal really, is to make more of a local impact. Yeah,
that's cool. I when we were talking about Tommy and I beforehand, I kind of compared it to like, it's almost like the modern day Columbus, Ohio, where I related to Columbus, during the West Side's heyday and Elite FTS Dave Tate there and Matt Wenning and
even Rogue.
Right. It would be in that conversation of cities like that have that much going on around the sport. So that's pretty cool. I think that'd be cool experience to be there and be opening your gym amongst all of that.
Yeah, I love it. I think I felt also, because I've been a part of it in some fashion for so long, whether working at a commercial gym or obviously the super training days and training with Alan, et cetera, that it doesn't feel new to us, since, it's just the next chapter that we're opening a gym. But our city in general, I love this place. I've pretty much been here my entire life. And our city is flourishing. Besides COVID, obviously, which is kind of halting everybody in the entire planet. We're opening new businesses. We've got a brand new basketball arena downtown. Bars, restaurants. We're a huge food town. I know you guys are beer fans. We don't drink Bud Light out here. We drink hipster beer, but we have a bunch of brewery, and that kind of culture is really big here. So I think not only culturally as a city, it's really growing, but obviously the fitness is still thriving. And so the combination of that, I think a lot of people don't visit here. There wasn't a reason to, but I think shortly after, we kind of clear up this mess, I think it's going to be a different story, which I'm really excited about.
I think we all are excited for this to be cleared up.
Yeah.
It's like the cloud over everything all the time. Okay. So another thing I wanted to ask about, you talked about how the Powercast, you recorded that out of that facility that you're in now. And Tommy and I know this is the case for both of us, that we've talked about this many times before. That's like the first podcast that I started listening to.
That was the podcast that got me into podcasts.
Me too, for sure. Big time. And especially like over those maybe 3 or so years when you were still on the show, like if you were into powerlifting, I think that was the podcast that you listened to. It's maybe there's a lot more variety out there now. There's a lot of different choices you can make, but like, I think, at least in the circles that we were in and everything, that was like if you into powerlifting,
like we could go to the gym and be like, oh, did you catch the Powercast this week? And like, that was a common conversation what was discussed in the Powercast.
Yeah, for sure. That's how it was. And that was certainly a big reason of us starting a podcast 4 or 5 years ago. Like that was definitely a thing. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to break you up this whole time. No, but I am getting to
man, I'll take all the ego strokes I can get.
Right. So it's really cool. And like, sometimes I miss that, that it's, but things change, and that's the way it is. Sure. And, I wonder how you look at that, because I know you left there at that point in time and, weren't affiliated with Mark anymore at that point. And like, that was a big topic of conversation. And I'm sure you got asked that thousands of times at that point in time what was going on. But what I wonder is, if in hindsight, if you could go back, would anything, and I don't know, if I really don't know the story, but we don't have to get into that. But what I wonder is, if you can go back in time, did that all play out the way you would in hindsight? Would you kind of do it all the same again?
Yeah, that's a good question. you're getting into philosophy, and I like that.
Yeah.
People always ask me stuff of that nature, whether it has to do with, my past or just humans, right? Like, hey, what would you tell 18-year-old self kind of deal?
Right.
Or what do you regret most in life? What would you, whatever? And the truth is, again, not sounding like a stupid meme on Instagram, like, I don't really believe in regret. I just don't believe in it. I'm so scared of failure. I don't want to think anything's failure either. And again, it's just a meme of, I don't fail, I just learn. Like, I don't know about all that either.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't trade anything I've ever done. There's some really, really good times, and there's some really, really, really bad times. And that's life. That's just kind of how life goes with any relationship, whether it be business, romantic, friendship, otherwise. Things, and like you said, things change.
Yeah.
I don't think I would change anything, and I definitely wouldn't say that's how I thought it would pan out. I was super young, I still don't listen to podcasts. And when we started that podcast, I was 23 years old. I think Mark was like 35 and Jim was like 45. So they obviously had a lot more life experience than me in general, business experience than me. And I was just going with it. Jim said, you want to do a podcast? I said, man, I don't know what that is. Let's rock. I had like a weird art school background. I'd been in musicals and theater and this and that. I've played in orchestra and choirs, and so being in front of a microphone or a camera felt kind of normal to me. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And it turned out to have some success. And again, that was like, what is it? Yeah, I guess like 8 years ago. I'm 32 now, so it's taught me a lot, learned a lot. I obviously grew some from it, and it's just been a slow grind since. And just like any other, for those people that want to make content, because I've talked to everybody now. They're like, yeah, I should start a podcast. I'm a realtor, and I think talking about houses, because it'll help their business a little bit. Or YouTuber, that's what every marketing says. And they're not wrong. Like, you're probably not going to be top 10 on iTunes, but you might be able to gain a client from it or two or something, have some fun.
Yep.
I think you can learn. And I think all content you have to change and adapt. My YouTube started for 2 years, me recording myself answering questions on my couch. And now I've vlogged across the country, so you adapt and grow, podcast adapt and grow. As cliche it is, no real regrets. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to hear stuff like that too, even still, because it's online. You don't know the impact of what you do or don't do. And that goes negative and positive, right? It goes hopefully positive in the sense that I help some people learn something about lifting or laugh during a dark time through these podcasts or whatever. But then it goes to the negative, like we talked about, people writing shitty emails, being dickheads for no reason. So, Mike's wise meme life guru advice today is, you never know what your words or actions impact in the world. So might as well put that best foot forward,
Right on.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That is.
Mike, so I think I maybe mentioned to you, every time we have a guest on, we play our overrated, underrated game with them, and we would sure like to do that with you here today. What the game is, we have a series of topics that Tommy and I have hand-selected for you, and you have to answer whether they are overrated or underrated. You can't ride the line in between. You have to pick one. And you have your druthers to elaborate as much or as little in your explanation.
Beautiful. I'm excited. Put me on.
Okay, great. This is kind of we usually tell people this is kind of why people come to our show in the first place. So a lot of pressure here. If you don't do well, people will judge you.
Well, you could fail this test.
Yeah, it's pass fail for sure.
A guy with an anime profile picture will be letting his opinion known on this, so don't mess up.
There's a lot of JD Power and Associates trophies on the line for this. So
all right. I mean, I'm a winner, so I think.
All right.
Hit me.
Overrated, underrated. Topic number 1: Gucci.
Oh shit. Overrated. We'll just leave it at that. You know why. Don't be. All right, we'll get into it. Don't be wearing your dad's T-shirt and your boyfriend's hoodie, your whole life with not caring, not looking in a mirror. Get your first real job and go buy a Gucci belt. Like, I've been wearing Jordans since I was in 3rd grade. That was my only Christmas gift. Like, I love sneakers, I love clothes. So then, when I make money, I buy Jordans and I don't even like Gucci. Do you even like what you're buying? Half the stuff is ugly. You're just buying some G's at that point. And that's literally what they're doing. That literally, what do they call it? Brand whore. You're a brand whore, and you're a culture vulture. That's why you're overrated.
That's good.
It's a solid argument.
Yeah.
Did I pass that one?
Yeah, this so far so good.
So far, so yep.
Okay.
Overrated or underrated? The PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's good. That's a good question. I feel very special now that you guys, I do feel like you've chose these questions over me.
No, these are hand selected by hand.
These are like artisan handcrafted questions. Like we're in our workshop.
I want to come on the show every week. How do I do that? I'll have my PR agent talk to you.
We'll see how this goes first. We got to see how,
and then if that works, then your people can talk to our people, and then we'll see if it's something we can work out.
So I haven't done the official research on it, so I don't know the price point. But the rumor is to me that it's like $699, in which case I would say it is highly overrated. You can get a very similar setup, graphics-wise and like processing-wise, from a PC, and it's a lot more capable. And the biggest thing is you can plug the controller into PC if you don't like mouse and keyboard. So for all my nerds out there, it is simple. It is nice. I have a PlayStation 4. I enjoy it. And I am saying it's overrated. I probably will buy a PlayStation 5. But
that's okay. That's okay that you would buy it, but still think it's overrated. That's a nuance of the game. Yeah.
And I'll probably buy an Xbox, whatever, X or whatever the heck it's called too, just because there's certain games and stuff that I like. But I work really hard to afford a nerd video game. So if it's your life or death or you're missing bills over it, it's highly overrated. Go to the PC world. It is more expensive entry level, but it'll last you a little longer.
It's like the gift that keeps on giving, right?
It really is. It really is. And I don't even know that much about computers. A lot of that information I just fake to you guys because I hear my friends talk about it. But that's the gist I get.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I've watched a few videos on YouTube. I think for the most part, you're right there.
Yeah, megabytes, kilobytes, watts, I don't know, frames per second or something.
Yeah. Okay, overrated, underrated, the triangle offense.
Ooh, that's good. That's real good. Yeah. So, generally speaking, I would probably say overrated. You got to have the real good pieces to run that offense. And then two, I could run a lot of offenses with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
And I would look like a real good coach.
Yes.
So in that sense, I would say overrated. Now, was it a slightly revolutionary for the time, having some guards in the low post and kind of, moving around like that? Yeah. So good impact, good offense idea for the times. It probably wouldn't cut it in today's league. Actually, in today's league, pretty much everyone runs a 4-man out or like a triangle offense to begin with. But generally speaking, to the casual basketball fan, overrated offense. But I love Phil. You got to love Phil.
Yeah, and I would agree that, Phil, whatever, he cleaned house with like the 10 championships or whatever it was between the two. And it's in my relatively uneducated opinion, I don't think it's necessarily the X's and O's with Michael Jordan and Kobe and Shaq and everything, but what he did do was manage all of those people. Right. Like
and that's a skill. That's no doubt a skill.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it had a big impact on the GMs to get the right pieces around those players.
Right.
And his X's and O's were good enough. But it's not like what is it, Water Boy, when the coach has a secret playbook or something? He's not that. Yeah, it's not that.
That's right.
But Mama said.
Yeah. And the guy's like scared. He sees a baby across the field. That's not Phil. Phil's not scared.
No one called anyone a needle dick.
Yeah. Gatorade. None of that happens. But Phil, he's good.
Bonus points for the Water Boy reference, though.
Yeah.
That's not bad, huh?
No,
we talk about Adam Sandler so much in my house. I don't know why. He's got so many low-key banging movies that no one talks about.
Did you like Uncut Gems?
I just watched it like 3 days ago.
Does that movie feel stress-inducing? Would you use those words to describe it?
So let's continue with the game, and I would actually say I highly enjoyed it, but it was overrated. I think he did a really good job acting in it. I liked it a lot, but how people were talking to me was like this was going to blow my face off.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was good. And I honestly, that was the other comment I got. I was like, man, I had 2 hours of anxiety. I wasn't that anxious, and maybe it's because I watched it at home and I'm in my bed and, whatever. But I liked it. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was very well done.
Have you seen it, Tanner?
I watched like the first through KG was in the jewel shop and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, it was, I haven't finished
Everyone's
it yet.
Everyone's yelling at everyone.
Then things got crazy and I didn't finish it, but I'm like there was a serious pace to this film that's not like what I normally watch for sure.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of kind of like a mix between those comedies where everything goes wrong, like
like
Meet
kind of
the Fockers.
Yeah.
Like a Meet the Fockers where you're kind of cringy, and then also like kind of a mafia thriller. It's kind of somewhere in between there. I like it.
To bring that full circle, Tommy, Adam Sandler has been a topic previously on Overrated,
He has
Underrated.
been.
Yeah, just to
Really? Yeah,
as a
he
side
did.
note.
What?
Yeah.
No way him as a topic was underrated. I'll fight your guess.
I think because I was the one that played it. I think I actually said so. This was pre-Uncut Gems.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I wanted
I think
to be friends.
I think I
Dan
actually
spoke
said that
highly of
he.
you.
I think he said. I believe I said he was underrated because you don't really hear much. Like he had that bad movie streak, kind of more lately, and I feel like everyone was like down on him. Like he was already like everyone was like, yeah, he's a has-been. He's overrated.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but he did have those like just gems in the beginning of his career and SNL. Like Adam Sandler SNL is classic.
Even middle of his career is where I think he is underrated by far. Like Click, the movie Click, 50 First Dates.
Yeah, and even
those
like Mr. Deeds and that stuff too.
Mr.
Like
Deeds,
that.
so good.
Yeah, Mr.
So
Deeds
if you want
is
to
good.
see the best trash worst movie ever is Little Nicky.
Yeah.
That's the worst best movie of all time.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Get in the flash.
It's so bad. It's so good. Like that's kind of reminds me of SNL. Adam.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
very
it
talented.
is.
What's the other one where he has cancer? Funny People.
Oh,
think
I
that's
never saw that one.
underrated too. I think it's
Yeah,
super
that's
good. There's
good.
humor. There's some real feeling. He has some movies kind of in the early or like mid 2000s, I guess. He obviously has some trash can movies as well. Some checkbook movies where he's trying to pay the bills, but
like those
he has
ones
a
where
lot-
he's like hangs out with these other older
the
stars,
grown-ups or
yeah,
whatever.
right,
Is that
right,
what-
yeah,
yeah.
Those are
Like,
bad.
all right,
that
buddies,
has
let's go on a trip and
potential.
get paid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really into that. But obviously he has keystone comedies. You're talking Waterboy, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison,
Oh, yeah.
all these. But
that's the
he's got
perfect
a lot.
trifecta, really. Yeah.
What are they doing on Instagram? They take like two rappers and they're doing like the best hits battle, and they each rap their best hits at each other. It's like a thing going on. I don't know.
Oh,
But if you did that with comedians, Adam Sandler's might be winning the
ooh,
movie game.
God.
That'd be tough.
I mean,
yeah.
just his SNL clips alone would get him
Amazing.
really far.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who else are you throwing in there? Like Chris Rock, I like just as much, but he doesn't have the movie. Like he doesn't have the discography. Maybe Eddie Murphy. Maybe,
Right.
but I don't know if he has the movies. Like he has the stand-up on
I
Adam,
could
but he
see-
doesn't have the movies.
I could maybe make an argument for Will Ferrell.
I was
there.
going to say Will Ferrell,
say
a
Will,
slight generation, just slightly later.
Yeah.
I think he hit it.
maybe Will.
Anchorman, of course, that.
Well, and Step Brothers,
Right.
Talladega Nights,
Yeah.
the other guys.
Where's I'm going streaking?
Old School.
Old School. There you go.
Old
Yeah.
School's the best.
And
Yeah.
he also had a lot of really good SNL clips too.
Yeah.
He did. He might literally be the only one that
Yeah.
because if I had to choose one, I'm a Vince Vaughn guy. But he did. I don't know if he has the discography either.
I don't
Right.
think so. I mean,
Yeah,
Swingers
it's
is
hard.
classic, but
Yeah.
So good. So Old School is the one. Old School is the one that
Yeah.
set probably the tone of how I want to try to pretend to be funny.
Okay, last topic for overrated, underrated, and this is where you bring it all home. This is basically make or
Yeah.
break.
this is the bow on the package here.
Right.
Yeah.
Overrated or underrated? Mullets.
Oof. That's hard, man. It's hard. I would probably say they're underrated. I actually don't think they're rated at all. I think they're always rated poorly. If no one. I get a lot of compliments on mine from actually more compliments just randomly in person and like, yo, dope mullet, man. Like, thanks, bro. Than I would online. Online, it seems to be kind of neutral at this point because it has been 3 years. Generally speaking, I would say underrated. Although, again, I have seen a trend towards more people having them, in which case my hipster self is probably going to shave my head within the next 2 years. That's probably going to happen.
Yeah. I have there's certainly a trend there, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think there is.
Yeah.
Because there was
And
a
again,
yeah.
I'd like to think I'm the first. I don't know if I am. I don't, I go to bed, look at myself in the mirror, telling myself I'm a visionary and a trendsetter, but I also might just be a hating hipster. But I feel like I had the fanny and the mullet before it was cool.
Yeah.
Did it first.
Well, great.
I like to think so.
Great news, Mike. You did pass the game, overrated, underrated. You did pass.
Finally.
Good job.
Did I beat Alan? It's all that really matters.
Alan
That guy's
did-
smart. He's jacked now. He's way more jacked than me.
Yeah,
gotta
Alan
beat
did
him
really
at
good. Alan did really good too. I don't know. I that's too.
We'll
tight
have
of a
to go
race
back and,
yeah,
and
we-
count all the points. It
Right.
gets tricky in there. So
Yeah.
I want to listen to it. What did you ask me? You had to ask him about Slayer. Slayer over underrated.
we
Slayer.
actually did. Yep.
Yeah, Slayer
on
was
the-
one
Did
of-
you? Yeah,
Yes.
you had to. I don't know shit about Slayer. I just know everyone wears their t-shirts.
Yep. That's what we said.
I said that. I said because to me, Slayer is like the thrash metal band. I thought maybe he would say overrated, but he actually said underrated. And I said, even with everyone wearing their t-shirts now, and he said, is that a thing? Do people wear their t-shirts that aren't into them? And I was like, yes, everyone wears their t-shirts now.
Right.
Alan's the best, dude. He just literally is like one of the hardest workers and like so committed to his craft as a coach and a gym owner that he probably hasn't read someone else's t-shirt in a decade.
Right.
You know?
That's
And I figured I'm like, oh, he probably has better things to do than to see what's popular in t-shirts right now.
Yeah, but I knew that. I think, don't quote me on this because by the name of our podcast, Jimmy T, 50% Facts, I really don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure one of those guys is from Sacramento.
Oh,
I'd believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone in a band, every band has at least one member from California, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Except the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's
four members from California.
And then we have, I think, Sublime, someone else. A bunch of people are from Sacramento randomly. I don't know why. It is a weird city. It's not, I mean, our population is nothing, but we're cool, I guess, all of a sudden.
It's a lot like Aberdeen, South Dakota, and that's where we're from, Mike. So that's a lot of similarities. Yeah.
I have feeling that.
People have said it's like the Sacramento of the upper Midwest.
I think you two are the first humans that, you know how everyone is hoaxing COVID? They're like, well, I don't know anybody who has COVID. I didn't know South Dakota was real.
No,
I had no idea.
It's real and it's spectacular.
And we're not just saying that because the government planted us here to say that, to prove that it's real. It's really real.
What do you guys have? Like, do you guys have the presidents on the mountain?
Yes.
Yep.
So so far.
That's all. So far, they're still there.
Yeah.
They're trying to take your one glory. Do you have Yellowstone?
No. It's Wyoming.
No. Fuck,
it's
dude,
also a show on Amazon Prime.
South Dakota is?
No, Yellowstone. It's Kevin Costner, I think, is
Dang, what else you have? You don't have corn. That's your next door neighbor.
We do have corn. It is.
We do have the world's only corn palace.
Yeah. Mike Miller, of
former NBA Rookie of the Year,
is from just down the road, a few hundred miles from us.
Okay, I like Mike Miller.
Yeah.
He had a great career.
Right. He won probably a couple championships with the Heat, I suppose, right?
I think his last year was with the Cavs even.
He got it.
He got one with Braun. He had a really good career in Orlando for a bit.
He actually did hit some big shots in the finals that one year.
He got to ride the LeBron wave there for right in the sweet spot where he got a few championships out.
A lot of players got to ride that LeBron wave.
Right.
I'd say Mike Miller's underrated.
I think
Most
so.
people don't even know his name, but he was a very talented 6'8" dude. He kind of has some guard skills. Yeah, Mike.
Brock Lesnar was just from down the road from us too.
Actually, just
that
down the road.
I knew.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you guys have a lot of performance-enhancing drugs.
I think he got those once he went to Minnesota.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. That's the highlight.
That's the highlight reel right there. Right. And then the Massenomics.
I mean, probably the fastest growing, most popular thing is Massenomics at this point.
I believe it. All right, so there's this small chance, and this is like a mini leak, but there may be, when this is over, a national-wide road trip with me and a friend of mine.
Oh.
And I'm heading California to the technically the Midwest, but it's the East Coast to Ohio.
Yeah, right.
So maybe we head by,
Absolutely.
We'd if the opportunity arises, we would love to have you here for sure. And that's usually how I close, as I say, next time you're in Aberdeen, South Dakota, make sure to look us up. So that kind of ruined that, right? Yeah. But you're actually talking like it could be possible someday. But so
maybe?
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, it's got to be pretty up there, right? You're up. Yeah, I know you're South Dakota, but you're still like north of things. You're north in Nevada. Nevada's like yellow and nothing going on. There's got to be something pretty.
It's surprisingly nothing where we're at, though.
Yeah, it's extremely flat. We're in the Great Plains for sure.
A lot of people are surprised that in the summertime it stays light until almost 10 o'clock. That surprises a lot of people.
Yeah. That's a little something,
A little something.
Beer on the porch.
But you keep that in mind. If it happens to work out, we show you some really good South Dakota hospitality if you roll through.
Absolutely.
What's the food of choice? Texas has their barbecue.
I mean, it's pretty
There's a Norwegian thing. A lot of Norwegian people. Are you Norwegian? You're kind of tall and blonde.
I think I supposedly have some there.
Lefse would be a popular Norwegian food. There's also pockets of German. So like kuchen, I think is a
kuchen. I mean, really, it's meat and potatoes around here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, steak and potatoes.
That. Yeah, steak.
Who doesn't like a good steak?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what. That's
for
the
sure.
staple.
Steak for sure. Yeah, that's the right answer.
Easy.
All right, Mike, we really appreciate having you on. We'll definitely like to do it again sometime if it works out for you. And we'd like to
I'm here.
Stay in touch. And like we said, we'll roll out the red carpet for you when you come to Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Appreciate it, boys. Lots of fun, man. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Sweet guys. Have a good one.
You too. Awesome.
That was cool beans.
Cool beans.
beans. Got a lot of reception on the cool beans too. A lot of people liked the hot rod cool beans.
Okay, hot rod.
Yeah.
I mean, just thinking the part. Do you remember have you seen the movie recently, Tanner?
No.
Okay,
so long that I barely
like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
and I was laughing so hard, and I'm like, oh, my wife has to be loving this, and I look and she's sleepy, and I was like, oh, but like the part where he's like. He sees Denise, or he's trying to get her attention, so he shines the mirror in her face.
Yeah,
and she is like, what is he doing? And so she comes into his garage, and he's just banging on the engine. And he goes, oh, hi, Denise. And he goes, Denise, you look pretty. She goes, what'd you say? I said you look shitty. Just a lot of dumb stuff like that. I mean, and the fall scene, the scene where he falls down the mountain for 5 straight minutes. Right. It's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, great movie.
That's good.
Maybe we should just end every podcast talking about one scene from Hot Rod.
We'll just pick one individual scene each week, and they'll all be cool beans.
They'll all be very cool beans.
Yeah. Okay, Tommy, this has got a little long.
Yeah, it did get a little long on us.
Mike had a lot to say.
He did.
I think he really liked the overrated, underrated, don't you?
As everyone does.
He got it, though. He knew that Slayer would have been a topic for Alan Thrall.
Yep.
Like, he literally picked one of the topics.
Yep. He saw into our workshop. He understood how we craft these questions.
I'm going to be listening to 50% Facts and make sure they don't steal that now, though. I'm going to have my eye on that.
We're clearly the first people to ever do that.
So. Yeah, nobody else can do that. Yep. That's not allowed.
Those words had never been put together before, under, until we did it.
No, we made that.
Yep.
We talked about all our stuff that we've got, so
make sure you go buy some of these new tees.
It's all out. It's coming out. We're recording on Wednesday. It's coming out tomorrow, which is Thursday. This comes out Monday, so that means they've been out for 3 days. So what the hell have you been waiting for?
Yeah, hopefully you can still get what you want, but don't be waiting.
I think some of them are going to be big sellers.
I think so too.
And I'm not just bullshitting people about that. I think some of them are going to be hot sellers.
Hot items.
Yeah. Today's show was brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20 at checkout. Today's show is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of our friends at Spud Inc. Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps. That'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership, and there's no reason to go there and not use our discount code. That would just be crazy. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of the legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. That's it. Tommy.
Massenomics.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Gino knows. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird. Much more importantly, make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.